Yeah, I think that's a good point. If some people are like, yeah, it might be kind of fun, and other people are like, it would ruin the stream for me. There's definitely, two kind of polar opposites. That's a good point. I'm playing this tapped on turn 1, and I might just wildfire it into a plains. Okay, so what about just a clip of Randy Bueller saying it's a Lightning Helix, oh my god, and I occasionally push a button to hear Randy Bueller say it's a Lightning Helix, oh my god, I can't believe it. Is that okay? I feel like that's okay. Always force the vial, I think. Yeah, I think we still need to wildfire this into a plains. Okay, because that is like 90% of why I want a sideboard. Okay. I think that's like the only thing I even for sure want to put on it. Like I might have a clip of Esther saying, all the nonsense she says all the time. But, that's all I really want. And an air horn that I just spam constantly, and a laugh track and clapping. Just kidding. We can also now snap this back later, which is kind of cute. It's gonna pass. Humans usually plays 2 basics, but I think we needed to get the white mana. Another Modern Monday, that could be good. I might DM Remy and see if he's okay with that. Not that I've ever talked to Remy, but I think I'd want to see if he's okay with me putting some of his music on a soundboard before just doing it. So I think we Helix the champ. Obviously after they attack with both. That way they don't get that exalted trigger. Morden Freeman reading 104.3a. I could maybe do like a Spikelings clip too. I don't know. But I'd want it to be kind of creative and fun and inside jokes if it happens, which it might not. Yeah, the I'm invincible. I love this clip. I really feel like I got robbed though. I really feel like I get robbed here. Nobody talks about how I get robbed. I'm invincible. Look at this flip. But look, I really feel like one hit me. I shouldn't have hit the wall there. And if I don't hit the wall there, I'm in great shape. I think we need to kill that.
Do you want an Uncrustable?
No, but I might. Could you refill my coffee cup if you're gonna be offering? I don't know. Thank you. Yeah, file for comp with Dark Souls. Misplay. I would love to draw a fetch land and then just fetch and put Lightning Helix on top and then play Teferi and plus and then Helix. Interesting. I guess they named this. A sound for the gas, maybe. I don't know. I am now very hesitant to. I can't believe they named Teferi. I'm now very hesitant to put any or overuse the soundboard because I didn't realize people disliked it that much. I do appreciate learning that though. All right. Well, we did draw the fetch land. It's such a snipe. How did they name Teferi? What? How could they do this to me? I'm Aspiring Spike. Do they know who I am? How could they name Teferi Hero of Dominaria? How could they have known this was the card? I'm just so furious right now. I'm aspiring spike, damn it.
Do you want creamer?
Yeah, just a little bit. I usually like to pour it in first, that way I don't have to stir.
Okay.
That's fine, I'm not saying. They also didn't get a basic, that's kind of weird.
Just switch it around, you know?
Yeah, but see, instead of me having to go like, you know, swish, it's just, you know, mixed already. Or, you know, you could...
Just put your finger in there.
I don't want to put my finger
Okay,
in here. That can be on the soundboard.
You want more?
This is fine. Ooh. It is a One Punch Man coffee mug. I'm a fan. Removal spell. Not quite. Yeah, Esther always says something. Always says something. Every single time she comes in here. Uh-oh. Well, 9 is not, or 1 is not 0. Surely they're killing Teferi, so we probably end up at 7 life here. I think we need to cycle this for 0, sadly. If we had 1 more mana, making a 1/1 would be super nice. It's a bad draw. It's not that she doesn't know how I drink my coffee, it's that I often kind of go back and forth on how I like it.
Yeah, and also you wake up early, so I don't know what you do.
I heard you. I heard you.
I know.
Oh, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
damn it. That hurt.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Okay, why are... I... What are you doing to me today? I couldn't tell when you don't have anything to do today.
Hey, I work.
Do you?
Later. Later.
Maybe call and see if they'll let you in early.
Oh my god. My boyfriend wants to be out of my house. Can I come in early?
She's always hijacking the stream. So if they want to kill my Teferi, they have to attack all the Mantis Riders at Teferi. Snapcaster is actually kind of a cute draw. Not quite at the point where snapping this back is like crazy. They have a 3rd image. Yikes. Could be a channel point redemption to have Esther play a game, hijack the stream. You don't know what you're asking for, I think. Esther is Chaos Incarnate. Okay, didn't draw Cryptic Command. Do we have to draw Cryptic Command to live? Snap Helix, block here. We don't have to draw it this turn. We can also snap Shatterskull and kill Freebooter this, block here, go to 1, and then we have a Wildfire in our hand to cycle. I guess we can also just kill 2 Riders with the snap Shatterskull. Yeah, it does kill both triggers, but couldn't use sacrifice. We could, but we just need to draw like Cryptic Command, really, right? Like if we kill both of these, we're chumping with the shark, which I am not necessarily in love with. I guess we can't snap Wildfire and draw Cryptic this turn. I think that we kill Freebooter and then still chump with the shark. That way we have 2 looks at a Cryptic next turn, which is what we need to get out of this. Or we're just dead to Lieutenant no matter what. Yeah, I think that the fact that this gives us 2 looks at a Cryptic next turn makes this the line. We have 3 Cryptics in the deck. Miss on the first look. Miss on the second look. Bummer. So bring him the Verdicts. I've cut the 3rd sweeper from the board. Maybe erroneously. I have like Dispute Against Humans recently. I usually like at least the first 2 Remand before, or for first 2 Gust before 2 Remand. Not that Gust is good, but Remand is also really bad. I think I'll play 3 Gust, 1 Remand.
You know, the balance is disrupted when you listen to music because you can't play Magic, talk to chat, and talk to me at the same time.
I can't do that anyways. I always have such a hard time.
But music is taking away from you talking to me.
I already can't talk to you and play Magic and talk to chat. It's so much to handle already.
I blame music.
I think we keep this hand. It's like definitely a little loose, but this card can be good. Yeah, so there's just Chaos Incarnate. I don't hate some number of rejections against some Vile decks. I actively like it against like Eldrazi and Taxes. And sometimes I'll bring in one against, like the mono white decks when it's hitting Vials or equipment sometimes, but against just Aether Vial, I think it's not worth it. It's like it's only good on turn 1 on the play and bad if you ever draw it after that. And they might not even have Vial,
Oh, I love this.
I've never seen you this bored in my entire life.
You must smell.
Stop.
Good.
Stop.
Now you must smell good. So sweet. So sweet.
Say fetch for Sanctuary. Maybe I was just kind of thinking I wanted to thin a bit, get a Sacred Foundry. This is a pretty good start against our hand. Maybe I should have Cycled Typhoon here. I like this draw. I think I'm going to bounce the Champ. They might Violin Champ. Well, this is on 1. They might be hesitant to play 2 2-drops into a possible Verdict if one of those 2-drops isn't a Meddling Mage, which it is. Unfortunately. They named Lightning Bolt, interesting. The fact that they've used Vial does indicate that they're going to cast another 2-drop. I also miss Electrolyze. I feel like the card's been pretty outclassed at this point. Kind of interesting if they choose to attack me or Teferi. They choose to attack Teferi. We'll play Blue-White Blade at some point again, I'm sure. Okay, a Relic is the card. They only have 1 card left. Wow, what a rip. Magic is pretty easy. Just kind of, you just kind of draw your cards and you cast them. Don't have to think too hard. What would the numbers be on Electrolyze if it was printed in 2020? I would just be probably the same, but blue-green instead of blue-red. I think Electrolyze would be absolutely absurd if you could deal 3 damage split amongst it. I don't know. Electrolyze is still a good Magic card. 3 would be absurd. I would play I would play like 3 or 4 if it could deal 3 split amongst your choices. Maybe opponent should have named Verdict, huh? Yeah, maybe at 4 mana it could deal 3. Yeah, but it can't cost 2 mana and it can't deal 3 damage. I mean, maybe 3 damage to 1 target is fine, and then draw a card for 3 mana. I feel like 3 damage to 2 targets is not that much worse than 3 damage to as many targets as you want. Three damage we push, but no more push than the card like Uro. I don't know. I genuinely think Uro is not that good in Modern. It's good. It's good, but it's not like as good as Twitter seems to think it is, where it's just they act like it's just absolutely taking over the Modern format, and that just isn't my experience with it. Opponent should probably be cycling Relic. They probably should have already cycled their Relic. They need to put more pressure on the field. People just hate cycling Relic for like not a ton of value. You love my Swordfish deck. That's a pretty good name for it. I don't think I've heard that one before. Yeah, I like that deck too. I definitely am going to revisit it at some point. I'm like a little stuck on where that list needs to be. Let me actually snap Bolt. That way we can hardcast Typhoon with Helix up next turn. How high am I on this card? I don't know. I'm like medium on it, I guess. I think that this card it's been fine, and I'm still just kind of testing it out. But I kind of want to be in between 23 and 24 lands, and when you know that, I feel like it makes sense to me to play one spell land. I don't like the censor at all. I think that you want the land to be able to enter untapped, since you're a Shark Typhoon, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, Jace the Mind Sculptor deck. I like the white. I probably like the effect of the white Bolt land more, but it's really hard on the mana to play the white Bolt land and 4 Flagstones, I think that you're going to have some really awkward draws there. And the blue Bolt land is maybe better than I think it is, but I really rate that card quite low. So I think just like once I've come to all those conclusions, it just makes sense to me to play the red one. But you could play a second Sanctuary in that spot. You could play a Ghost Quarter or a Field of Ruin. Maybe Nexus is better than Remand. I asked that question earlier, and chat like overwhelmingly told me no, and I think I agree with that. Yeah, Swordfish is a great name for the deck, Donzi. I'll have to sit on it a little bit, because Blade is like definitely something that Magic players like to click on. But I like the name Swordfish. Good job. This hand is good, by the way. Second Wildfire is kind of interesting. Is the best part of Uro for 3 getting the opportunity to cast Uro for 4 later? Sharks are fish, right? I thought they were fish. Maybe not every shark. Although whale sharks are fish too, right? I at one point aspired to be a marine biologist. No kappa. How could they do this to me? How could they name Teferi Hero of Dominaria? Excuse me, sorry. I think I'm gonna path the champ here. Don't they know it? How could they disrupt me like this? I kind of think we need to get a Plains or a Mountain here. That way we can cast Helix and Path next turn. It's really bad with the Cryptics in our deck. Yeah, maybe I just don't need to cast both next turn. We can also draw a land to play. Ding, 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 ding. Need one more land to cast that. I mean, they named Teferi Hero of Dominaria last time and it was pretty good, so why wouldn't it be good this time? So probably need to path that Thalia. Or Helix it, I guess. Probably Helix. You know, best case scenario, we draw a land, Helix the Thalia, Verdict, and get a concession. Haven't drawn a land yet. So Helixing the Thalia in combat definitely doesn't play around them having a second Thalia, but I think that just not taking that 3 extra points of damage is certainly worth it here. Well, hopefully they just sit on the Relic forever like they did last game. Alright. I think Teferi as a Lightning Helix is fine here. I'm gonna bounce the Meddling Mage. I guess it's a little concerning because they could name something good if it comes down again, but it feels like the bounce.
Hey baby, remember last week when I took my test and I was like, these questions here about like all these errors, I swear he didn't talk about in lecture and I didn't read in the book. He accidentally put chapter 5 instead of chapter 7, so he's nulling those questions.
Oh, good. So does it mean you did better on the test?
I think so.
Good.
I don't know if he's like just taking it out.
Why can't we find a land? We've been missing so much.
Like, I don't know if he's taking it out so there are other questions way more, or if he's just making those count right.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's the latter, then it's better.
Okay. That's bad. Esther, would you mind shutting the door?
No.
Thank you.
You don't like my throat clearings?
No. You played your 75 from Twitter of this Magic deck on past Monday. I felt like I got stuck on 2 or 3 lands a few times. Do we need another land? I don't think so. I don't think so, no. We played 24, and I kind of count the Wildfires as like half ramp spells, so like 24 lands, and like this is just like a very low end of variance where we Wildfired on turn 2 our Flagstones, and we've cantripped many times, and we just never found a land. This just does happen in Magic, you know. I don't think that you're really supposed to fret too much when stuff like this happens. Just kind of take it in stride. Like, you are just gonna get mana screwed or mana flooded in Magic the Gathering, you know? It's just going to happen. Yeah, we're still just not dead here, of course, if we path the Thalia. You love the deck, but what are the downsides, weaknesses, and so on? I think the deck is generally really good. I think that you're probably not favored against the Uro piles, but I also haven't really been losing to them or playing against them very much. Like, you're kind of soft to Gurmag Angler because I'm playing fewer paths, but I think that my removal spell split is making a lot of sense to me in the current modern environment. Yeah, I think it's just something that happens. I've played probably 100 matches of this deck at this point. Maybe not quite that many, but almost, and I don't feel like we need an extra land. Yeah, at least very close to 100 matches, if not actual 100. So we can dispute a phantasmal image. I guess the downside is you never draw lands. I mean, we've probably, I think that I might be wrong, but I think that we have had 8 or 9 looks at lands. We had one off Teferi, one Wildfire, and then I think 6 draw subs we've missed a land on. I think we kept a 2-lander. So you're just very likely to see, in a 24 land deck, more than 0 lands and 8 draws. Snap Path my own snap. I feel like I'm just gonna Snapcaster, block Meddling Mage, and Path Lieutenant. We path our own snap, life total's going kind of low. You have Snap Path again next turn. Not that we're just like very likely to win this game if we draw 1 land ever. And turn looks like turn 8 is gonna be included in ever. Oh yeah, they should have popped the relic. I think they forgot they had it. I also totally forgot that they had the relic. Oops. It is kind of weird. I feel like that happens sometimes. Where like both players are just like, I think, focused on maybe the same aspects of a match, and both players will forget that there there's a Relic of Progenitus in play. I feel like that happens maybe more often than people want to say it does. Yeah, we were just dead if they relics. Oops. So we're dead to a Mantis Rider. We have drawn a land and enters tap. I guess we're just a Teferi. Bounce their champ. Not play around them making the same mistake twice, because I do kind of get the feeling that they realized what happened. So we're dead to Mantis Rider or 3 Thales Lieutenants. I guess actually just 2. Yeah, just 2 Thales Lieutenants. But if they don't kill Teferi, we have instant speed verdict up, which is kind of good. Stinks. You wonder if Tef first to look for another land. I guess it's better sequencing, but it's not like we had anything besides Dispute to hold up. But yeah, I guess it was better sequencing. I was just so anxious to play my land after missing it so many turns in a row. Alright, keeping this hand. Wow, that's a power play right there, creeping Tar Pit. What's this deck's performance in a control mirror? I usually win control mirrors, but I think that's also because I personally feel like I'm pretty good at them. Don't mean to brag, but I think I'm very good at control mirrors. So you'll often see me like maybe respecting the control matchup less with some sideboard cards, because I usually feel like I can just win control matchups. Maybe not. Maybe my opponent's brain is just so much bigger than mine. Delay, so they're going to Teferi me. I would love to get Ulamog's nullified. That would be so cool if this is Esper processors. Yeah. What do you look forward to in control mirrors? That is a very complicated question, and one that I can't really answer in just a couple of words. But control mirrors, what you do and what you are supposed to do changes very quickly, and so a lot of experience I really think pays off in control mirrors. But that's a very complicated question to ask. Not that I'm not happy to talk about it in general, just a bit too much to answer in one short statement. But I play perfectly in control mirrors. Kidding. That's what I try to do, is play perfectly, and sometimes it works. Right, I think we play this guy. And then if they want to counter it, then they can't put in an equipment. Yeah. Does perfect play help you win? No, not at all. You'd think it would, right? It doesn't help at all. I've never, yeah. It's, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I do this cocky persona as a bit, and I always get self-conscious and think people who aren't here regularly will think that that's how I usually am. Yeah, they probably, I mean, they 100% have Teferi in their deck. It's kind of what I've always hated delay, because what if you just don't draw your Teferi? This card I think is so bad if you don't have Teferi in play. It's super cool, for sure cool. It has like cute synergies with processors, but this is also certainly has like a pretty big downside, because I'm just getting my Teferi back here. Yeah, the Mohan Everett persona, exactly. Yeah, just like cast delay, lose the game in 3 turns. It's kind of sketch, you know. Do something like this, I think. It's like, how often is delay going to be better than mana leak when you're just trying to like go underneath your opponent's spells and like kill them before it comes down? You know, mana leak does a very similar thing where it's like dead in the late game, you know. You'd keep a path, I wouldn't. Pathing Stoneforge Mystic is I almost just I just don't path Stoneforge Mystic on turn 2 almost as a rule. I'm very hesitant to ever have a hard rule in Magic like that, like don't path Stoneforge Mystic on turn 2. But there are very few situations where I feel that it is correct to path a turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic. Definitely holding up Remand for Teferi. I think I'm just going to leave this fetch uncracked for now. Happy to draw a land there. Yeah, I would also love to see the Triome and also the new Pathway cycle. I'd like to see that completed kind of soon. Not, you know, necessarily expecting it to happen, I guess. Double white, triple black, double blue. Get the double land. The fact that the land enters tapped is a really big deal. Really big deal here. We already know the rest of the pathways are in Caladim. That's awesome. I get all my news from Twitch chat, so I didn't know. If Twitch chat doesn't tell me anything Magic related, I usually don't find out until much later than everybody else. Alright, I think I'm going to try to cycle into a land. They might not play basic planes, but they probably do. They're just on always have Teferi and play tribal. They get to resolve their Teferi here. So frustrating. Oh. Well, that's fine if they don't have a... That's fine if we draw a land and they don't have a Force of Negation. Which is, I guess, a lot of quantifiers. We did draw the land. Wow. I hope that their other last card isn't a blue one. Doesn't seem to be. So they get to bounce their Queller. It's kind of fine. Surprised to see them not just holding up Queller. What's better than that? Cycle... Oh, Ashiok? Okay. Love Ashiok. Great card. So we have a bolt coming down next turn. So if we want that to happen, we need to deal with the Teferi. But the ways we have to deal with the Teferi, I'm not like very excited about. I kind of don't hate just hard casting Typhoon. I guess we know they have Force of Negation and a blue card. Right. I think we're cycling Typhoon here. Pretty obvious what we have, but we know two of their cards. You know, we know they have Queller and Force, so we just can't jam this. But we can cycle this, block the Shark, and then pressure their Planeswalkers in a pretty meaningful way. What is their deck? I'm so confused. We don't get to get the bolt. They get to Splinter Twin Teferi delay combo. They have Queller, Force of Negation, and 2 mystery cards. Okay. Guess we'll 104.3A momentarily. Oh, the other card is Shark Typhoon, so this was literally the one unknown. For those in the chat wondering why I'm not responding to this with Cryptic Bounce Teferi, I can't because there's a fun the Teferi is still the fun Raveler. Yeah, we just Helix their Teferi and their whole deck just kind of falls apart here, huh? I mean, they might force the Helix. In fact, I think they probably will. They probably should. Why is this stop on my draw step happening? Don't we know their hand is exactly Queller, Cryptic, or Queller, Force, Shark Typhoon? Start by Cryptic Bounce. Cryptic Bounce what? When they force the Helix. I'm confused. Is it better to try to Helix Ashiok than try and snap Helix Teferi? Well, maybe. Because they might not force the Helix on Ashiok. I kind of like that. I don't know. Nah. I'll just... I think that if this resolves, I'm wanting to hold up Cryptic Command instead of snap Helixing. They force pitching Queller. So the last card is Typhoon. I think we're just bouncing a Shark and drawing a card. I can't stop Helix, force Exiles. Okay, so we bounce Shark. If we bounce Teferi, we have Shark. We have Force of Negation up. But they'll get a Shark. We probably can't win, honestly. Bounce. Yeah. We're just we can't overcome this. We can maybe win game 3. Slam that Typhoon. I think doesn't it just get bounced by Teferi? Guess then we have Force up. Yeah, it very clearly is the Ashiok that did us in. I think my configuration is fine though. I don't hate bringing in Nexus, but I feel like I just want to have like more cheap answers for their nonsense than have like the 7 mana spell. It's like kind of bad against their delays and stuff, you know. Yeah, opponent definitely having a lot of fun, which is something we can all collectively admire, of course. Yeah, use the restroom. I really genuinely think that we have the right land count. You know, we've gotten very flooded today, even on 24 lands, you know. And we also have Wildfire Flagstones for an additional mana. So I do feel like we're fine. I'm going to keep this in the control mirror. All right, I'll be right back. Affinity for fun, 6 months in a row. Sorry I was taking care of business. Appreciate ya. Sorry that your deck is banned. Wildfire. Yeah, we literally can never be down on time. Some people might want to run out of Snapcaster here, and I don't think that that's unreasonable, but I'm not going to choose to do so. I'm just going to get Basic Island. Opponent can definitely, squeak out some sneaky damage. Nice. Now we have a clock going and a Cryptic Command up. How can we lose? A rhetorical question, of course. I don't think we can. Oh, I think I can Cryptic Command this. Cryptic Command is like pretty hard to resolve, so I'm like not unhappy if they force this. We obviously drew the perfect card in Force of Negation. Hey Ronan, how's it going? But I want to be the one with a 1/1 flyer in play. Kaya's Guile can't. I'm not. There's no way that I'm not going to be the one with the 1/1 flyer advantage. Does this card matter? Let me think about it. I think the answer is no. I think we can go like, let it resolve. If they minus it, whatever, we attack it down to 3, and then play Teferi, hold up Force, and just flash and snap and attack it down next turn. It's like if they don't minus it, it's not that big a deal. If they do minus it, then it's like easier to attack down. Yeah, Fran is definitely, the opponent definitely minusing. They hit a Jace, an Island, a Flagstones, and a Dispute. I think I'm playing the little Teferi here. That resolved so fast. And now we can just, now if we can almost definitely attack their Ashiok to death next turn, so it's just like 3 mana, mill 8. Not very good. Yeah, this is also just fine. I think there's a lot of value in holding the Force. So now we have Teferi with Dovin's Veto and Force up, which is really good. I also don't think I want to minus this Teferi because they have a Tar Pit in play. It's not like we're like really looking for very much either. Man, I didn't think too hard about tapping the mana there. But yeah, now we have Veto plus Bolt up. So I guess we could have, now that we do the Bolt, we could have probably minused on Snap, but we're fine if we don't also. We can do that next turn. Yeah, Ashiok just, I think the card, just the floor and the matchup is just so low. I can imagine if my opponent cast a 3-drop that mattered and I had the Force, they could have maybe gotten out of that. Wasn't an intentional BM. Yeah, 3-manned. See where our opponent can beat 3 of a kind. Now we have a full house. This is prison. I'll remand the Chalice, but Chalice isn't even like very good against me. Yeah, once control deck stop playing 1-mana cantrips, just Chalice, it's not that relevant really, in my opinion. Yeah, I think we just Teferi plus here. If they have Blood Moon, we can bounce it. Stops Chandra activated ability. They'll probably play Chalice on 1 because red player... Oh, never mind. Oh, we don't have an answer to that. Dang it. I was looking at my hands for one of our many answers that our Jeskai control deck surely has. There we go. I really want to Wildfire my Flagstones. I don't really think we can afford to right now. Couldn't wait. Doesn't mean I don't really want to. Sure. Yeah, Chalice, I mean, we have 5 1-drops in our deck, and they aren't even, like, they're Paths and Bolts, which do get Rabble Masters. We have Helix and Remand and stuff. Just not too scared. Still haven't hit a land. There we go. So I think we get basic island and then basic plains here. Play around a Blood Moon. Haven't played against Mono Red Prison in a long time. I don't really know what the idea behind playing the deck is at the moment. If there is one. If my opponent plays a Blood Moon, I think I just let it go. Because it's pretty bad if they go Blood Moon and then Ritual Rabble Master. Yeah, I even played the Mono Red Prison deck when Karn was printed first. That was before I was a streamer guy, but I like that deck. I'll Remand Rabble Master. No, no. I drew a 1-drop. It's not like I can't bounce the Chalice. They just pass here. Yeah, Blood Moon and Rabble Master. Yeah, I did diss Mono Red Prison earlier. I guess I do still officially diss it. I don't think it's very good at the moment. My official stance is diss. Let's just Helix that. Yeah, an ongoing and continuous diss stance. Sure. I kind of want to cycle Typhoon for 1. Feels like a bit of a spew. Alright, let's get our 3rd island. Just hold up Snap Remand or Snap Helix. I'll attack for 1/2. Yeah, Wildfire fixing your mana underneath Blood Moon has been a great mode on the card. For a card that, you know, only says it does one thing, Wildfire does so much, it's kind of unreal. Yeah, it's easy game, easy life, really. Counterbalance Blood Moon? Maybe. I feel like the Blood Moon, it's only denying us like 1 blue source. You can draw a card with this. I think we just let this resolve. I feel like maybe counter the next thing they play and bounce Chalice and Bolt. Well, this isn't a spot to double Typhoon, I guess, or hardcast Shark Typhoon. It's just better to not, I think, and hold up a counterspell or snap Remand, or Huh. Yeah, I'll just bless. Hold up Snap Remand. We're fine here. Can hardcast next turn. Can Wildfire. Cycle end of turn. If that ends up being relevant, we get to bounce it. Yeah, Chalice is just like no longer good against our blue decks, you know? At one point, maybe it was. But, you know, we're not playing just all these Serum Visions or Ops anymore. It's not Legacy where we have Brainstorm and Ponder. If I had to give a comment on our position in this game, I'd say that we're streets ahead. Do I play Legacy? Ho ho ho. Ho 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 ho. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but a bit saucy today, a bit. Yeah, opponent definitely a fighter. Certainly something to commend them on. Oh, never mind. Never mind. They were just waiting for me to commend them, of course. Yeah, I'm just gonna side out my 1-drops, and they're definitely gonna keep trying to Chalice on 1 me. Cryptic seems kind of hard to cast. I don't mind going down to 2. And yeah, they still have Rabble Masters, but we still have Helixes and Aether Gusts for them. I think that's plenty. Shatterskull smashing. Yeah, they're definitely going to be like, oh man, I've got a turn 1 Chalice on 1. It's going to be so good against the blue deck. Just realized I took out Stormcaller. This is not the Stormcaller deck. This is not the Geist deck. It's a different deck completely. Never had Stormcaller in this list. Play Legacy. Do I play Legacy? Ho ho ho. Ho 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 ho. Yeah. Oh, do I play Legacy? What? Man, Mono Red Prison's so good. We have 3 islands in the deck. Nice. No, an island has beaten my nut draw. Thanks, Base Biff. Appreciate you. Steph. Perfect story. So they say. The new best version of the clip is watching the clip and coming back to turn 1 Blood Moon. Yeah, it's the new meta. I kind of want to snap Gust the War Boss. Just get an island if they replay Blood Moon. They put the thing on top. This is their play, Braid my Snapcaster. Sure. They're playing War Boss and Rabble Master. We've already seen War Boss. I guess we actually just Helix this. I really want them to play a Chalice because we have no 1-drops in our deck. I mean, I want them to play a Chalice on 1, I should probably say, huh? Thank you for granting my wish, opponent. I will reward you by tapping a land of yours in your draw step. I sided out all my 1-drops. I'll counter this. So here's what we're gonna bounce the Chalice. We're gonna think for a second. So it might look like we're considering casting a 1-drop, but then we'll play another Teferi. Pass. Because I think they'll just sink the 2 mana into the Chalice again. Karn. Oh no. I guess I'll just take that one. To know 6 months in a row, welcome back. Stop playing with my food. A player may concede the game at any time. A player who concedes the game leaves the game immediately. That player loses the game. But thank you for your 6 months in a row to know. They can concede, you know. Don't worry, they'll concede soon. I should... That's such a BM, Fran. Such a BM. Thanks to know. Love to hear it. They'll concede to the Cryptic countering the card, but not the fact that they know we have Cryptic in our hand. I guess they won't concede to it. I'll just cycle this. Just going through the motions really at this point. Are they dead to... Oh, they were dead to Helix, Snap Helix, pick up Teferi, Snap Helix again. Whatever. They're also... You know, it's just also impossible for them to win at this point. It's been in a couple Modern Masters, or maybe at least one Modern Masters. Playing against Luris. Sand's not very good against Luris. So I'll mulligan. Remand is... I mean, I will say that Uros are on the decline, but the other 2-mana counter spells are so bad against Uro. If you're just not on remands, you have such a hard time beating the Uro decks. Remand is also really good with Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. I'll say that. But just as long as Uro is legal in Modern, and I kind of expect it to be legal for a long time, I will be choosing to play Remand over most other options. Awesome, Chimera. It's like Remand is actively good against Uro, and you probably can never win if you choose to play Mana Leak instead. And Mana Leak has also always been awkward in control decks with Path to Exile, and control decks in general where you're trying to get to the late game and Mana Leak becomes dead. Remand is never dead. Hard to play Logic Knot. Oh, it's Boggles. Okay, so it's not Boggles, it's Druid. Just like the advantage bar shifted like from like 50-50 to like 20% in favor of my opponent, and then back up to like 80% in my favor as soon as they played the Giver. I think I just said this, but maybe I didn't. But I don't think Logic Knot is playable with the Flagstones. I think your counterspell needs to be blue colorless. Pretty sure I just said that, but it's fine. I'm going to bolt one of the birds here, then hold up Remand. Remand is better after a bird has been bolted. Yeah, Remand is also better with like hard cast, like just, you know, the cards in your deck that want you to be having momentum, which is Teferi, Jace, Shark Typhoon, and also like to some extent when you're ramping with Flagstones, when you're having a card draw effect, keeps the ball rolling, as the kids say. I think the kids say that. Not a great draw. But only has 3 cards, but they also have Lurrus, of course. One of the cards is Finale. I really don't like how in on the combo this deck is. It's just so all in. Really feel like there's a lot of weaknesses associated with being as all in as our opponent is. I'm gonna Jace bounce. Is a momentum just another turn for your favorite word, tempo? I guess, maybe. So for those of you who don't know, I really dislike the word tempo. When people talk about tempo decks, what they usually mean are decks that are trying to play one threat and protect it with counter spells and discard spells. But really, in my opinion, what tempo means is, a little more akin to, getting ahead on board and staying ahead on board, which basically every deck in Magic in 2020, that's what they're trying to do. I'm just going to get back Bolt. It's pretty free to gain the 3 life off Helix, but the 3 life off Helix also doesn't matter here. Regime, 4 months in a row, 4 months of Spike content. Welcome back, bud. Appreciate ya. And Mav, 384, 3 months. Do I bolt this bird? I don't think so. It's fine. You thought tempo was just doing more stuff than your opponent with efficiently costed spells. I think it's about getting ahead on board of your opponent is what tempo means. Making cheap, efficient, or maybe not cheap, but I would say efficient plays every turn and try to get ahead on board and stay ahead on board and push that advantage is, in my mind, what tempo means. But that is very rarely what people mean when they call anything tempo. Yeah, I'm not playing any spell snares that you have. You do see that correctly, which is definitely weird for me. I love spell snare. But I don't think it's great at the moment. I think it's okay. I think you could definitely play like 1 snare over the 4th Remand if you wanted to. But I think I'm okay not playing it right now. How's my Storm matchup? Great, I think. I haven't played against Storm very much lately, I suppose, but I've been beating it, I think. It's been a while since I've played against it. Storm is like the kind of matchup like the Control Mirror where I just feel very comfortable and I feel like I'll be able to leverage my experience on both sides of the matchup to probably win more games than maybe the matchup would dictate. So I think we let Lurrus resolve and then remand what they play off Lurrus. I think Storm is still a deck, Fran. I think Storm is like solid right now. I think the Masters of Storm will always be winning with Storm. Do need to draw something, but of course we have a lot of looks, and that's something. Snap Bolt, hold up Cryptic, or Typhoon. What are my thoughts on Teferi, Master of Time? I think it's like a fine Magic card that is worse than Jace basically every time, sadly. There just aren't very many spots where Teferi, Master of Time is going to be better than Jace when, opponent is perhaps a hero, perhaps a warrior, or perhaps a fool if we're continuing to play this game. I think Teferi is also really good in Pioneer. The last time I was playing Pioneer, I was playing a lot of Teferi Master of Time and really liking him there. But I also haven't played Pioneer in a while. I meant to play Pioneer, and I just somehow haven't played Pioneer since Zendikar came out. Maybe someone will donate for me to play it. Don't love Force of Negation in this matchup, although I might play one copy. Sometimes like to play one. Not a big fan of Remand. Bant approach. Probably be down. Remanding a flashback spell. If flashback specifically says on it if it would go anywhere, it's exiled instead. But if you remand a spell played from the graveyard with Lurrus, it goes back to hand. I don't think Pioneer has an Oops All Spells combo that I know of. Maybe it does. You have Narcomoeba, Creeping Shell. I'm keeping this. What's the combo? I just haven't been looking at it. How does it work? We are talking about Pioneer, right? If they have Druid into if they have Druid here, we're kind of dead. Maybe. Okay. No reason to cast anything here. Make them do it. 4 Creeping Chill, Prized Amalgam, World Spine Worm, Silver Smut Gold, Narcomoeba. Oh. That actually seems pretty good. And you play World Spine Worm. That's what chat is saying right now, but it makes sense. They do not have the combo here. It's a pretty big game. We just Teferi, bounce the Skite. I guess they bounce the Druid and just see if they redirect the Skite. But they didn't have to kill last turn. Afternoon Pants. Nice. I want to Sanctuary back Verdict, so I'll just do this. I don't think they can ever play around Force in that spot, but that doesn't mean they're not doing it. I just think that it feels never correct to do it there. Just put Lurrus into their hand. Delio. So I think we just hold up Cryptic, then play Jace next turn. So I don't really want them to get their Lurrus value. Honestly, the Pioneer Oops All Spells deck seems really good. I guess you are always going off on turn 4. So you have no acceleration. Still seems good. Right, there's no way to accelerate in that deck. So they can play a Giver if they fetch, but we can respond to the fetch with Lightning Bolt. Maybe they only play 2 Temple Garden. Either way, you're going down, Lurrus. No, they have Blossoming Defense. Blossoming Defense is so hot in this deck. So hot right now. So if they have exactly Postmortem Lunge, Vizier, Payoff, they win. You know what? If they have all that, I would love to lose to it. It would be very sweet. Opponent will get to brag and be really happy that it happened, and I think that has a lot of intrinsic value. No way! No way! The perfect 3 cards! It's awesome. I'm happy. It's so cool. Could have played around it. We also have to win game 3 on the draw. The only change to the list is I cut the 2 Ashioks and the Anger of the Gods for Soul Guide Lantern so I can beat the Oops All Spells deck, which I haven't been playing against very much. I think we mulligan this. It's just so bad if we don't immediately draw red or white. And again, in a matchup where I feel, relatively favored like this, I do usually like to mulligan relatively aggressively. I think I'm going to keep this and put back a Scalding Tarn. Daemon, thank you for your tier 1 subscription. Got the notification kind of late, but either way, thank you. Thank you. You guessed the correct play was Depless? Maybe. It's kind of tough. I think this is a pretty easy trade here. No Blossoming Defense, please, I guess. Wow, double Forge Tender is pretty good, I guess. I mean, their beatdown plan, I do think, is like they have to win by beating down pretty often, and it's also like if this isn't protecting anything, it's oftentimes good to attack. And maybe they thought trading for a Snapcaster was in their favor. I don't hate that attack. Just didn't work out good for them. They shouldn't be able to deal... They can Ballista Jace, I guess. Put that on the bottom. I don't want to plus on them because I don't know like what pieces they're missing. I think they're probably going to cast Eladamri's Call here. Yeah, we'll verdict them soon. If they don't commit more to the board, we can even brainstorm and wait on verdict longer. And this matchup got, this matchup was always fine, I think, but this matchup got way, way better when they stopped playing like 3-mana creatures in their deck and Coco. Yeah, them casting nothing on turn 3 is unusual. Oh, well, 2-2 Ballista. Oh, no. Finale. So again, we could die if they have perfects, like we did last game. So let me just start off with a brainstorm. If I draw a bolt, I'll feel like really, really comfortable. I did not draw a bolt. So one thing we could do is go like Teferi, minus on Druid, and hold up Gust. And I think that we probably do have the luxury to make a play like this. Okay, I don't know how I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. Whoops, just put both Teferis back. So I'm playing around, them having what they had last game. Postmortem Lunge, Druid, Payoff, which is a lot for 4 cards, so they have all 3 of those. And they don't, and we're going to win very easily. But it's not what I meant to do. I just brain farted and put back both Jaces, which is very embarrassing. You should all probably unfollow and then make jokes at my expense on Twitter. That's what I recommend. I'm going to shuffle. Cool. Now this is good against Blossoming Defense and Veil of Summer. No, anytime, Blake, anytime. Three Forge Tenders is a lot. 4 Forge Tenders. I guess 3 Forge Tenders is nothing. We just ignore all this nonsense. And then, you know, cast a Verdict. I guess we can instant speed this. But they're just going to go to combat first, so I think it's better to deny them of the mana for Bird than to instant speed. They'll just go to combat, and I don't want Teferi to die. We'll take the 3 for 1. It's enough value for me. Look at that. This is pretty nice to see. 4 Forged Cinders in a row in the graveyard. So 2 for 2. They get they cast the Veil for no value, or you know, not a lot of value. Where are my lands? Guess I'll just Wildfire my Flagstone. Yeah, well, I was playing an Anger in this deck for a while. I've cut it for today, and so I can have enough Soul Guide Lanterns to be good against Oops All spells. So I'm kind of surprised I haven't been playing against like a lot of Oops All spells. Not that I'm complaining. I'm kind of scared of having to discard a card here. That would be really upsetting. I guess we can discard the redundant Teferi and not feel too bad about it. Oh, whew, close. They have 7 cards. I thought we were going to have 8. Has anyone redeemed 1 or 2 million channel points? No. I don't know that it's even like technically possible to have that many at this point for how long channel points have been around. Maybe if you're like a tier 3 sub and you watch every single second of my content and click the button every time, but probably not. 1 million points is a lot. Alright, we'll Snap Bolt. Oh, we were supposed to snap Wildfire on our Flagstones, I think. Nothing we do here matters. What am I talking about? Nothing we do here matters. We can really just never, ever lose this game. What sort of life decisions can we make? So it's kind of like if you've ever played D&D, it's kind of like how the wish spell has certain restrictions on its power level, where you can't wish for absolutely anything, but you know, and if you wish for something too powerful, the wish fails. But we can talk about it if you get to 1 million. Yeah, you can maybe get creative. We just path the Druid. Urchini, thank you for your 7 months in a row. Welcome back. Appreciate ya. Hope you're having a good one today, bud. My latest Pathfinder character has like a really strong country accent, and I kind of feel myself transitioning to my Texas roots. Yeah, what's the gold value that you can wish for in Wish? I think it's like 50k. No, it might be more than that. I've never cast Wish, although I've been playing one character for probably more than 2 years at this point. Wow, getting old. My character is 14 sorcerer, 1 warlock, and we'll be able to cast Wish at some point. How is there no 4-1 emote in the channel? I've thought about it. It's probably pretty worth it. What did we lose to in round 1? It feels like a lifetime ago. Oh, humans. Not a bad matchup. So they did not reveal Luris, so it's probably not Scourge. Although maybe I'm afraid enough of Scourge to just not fetch this turn, and you know, if they have a Scourge in their hand, they might not be able to play it. So it looks like Grixis Shadow, which it's just a matchup I feel pretty comfortable in, although mulliganing on the play, I probably feel maybe a little disadvantaged from this position. Huh. So maybe 4-color Shadow. What does this card do? Tarmogoyf has power equal to the number of all card types among cards in all graveyards, and his toughness is equal to that number +1. Doesn't seem all that good to me. I know, I'm not. What? I can't lightning bolt this? It wouldn't be my first time, guys. But everybody learns that lesson one time. Everybody learns that lesson one time. Yeah, it might be a budget option. So for those of you who don't know, Tarmogoyf, if you lightning bolt it while it's a 2/3 and there's no instant currently in the graveyard, it lives. Yeah, somebody wished on a monkey paw for Tarmogoyf to be a budget card. If they shock here, they're dead to one more burn spell. Somebody needs to put the monkey paw down as far as magic cards go. Yeah, Tarmogoyf's I don't remember them ever getting to 200. Maybe they like retailed for 200, but I feel like you could always buy them for like 150. They're just dead if we draw lightning bolts. This can't target players, sadly. 2 looks at the bolt here. Okay, could path this Tarmogoyf card now if we so desire. Kind of just want to play this tapped this turn. Take our time a little bit. I play 3 Lightning Helix and 3 bolts. Helix is really good at the moment. It's a really well positioned card. I don't think I want 7 burn spells, so I'm doing a 3/3 split. And the more Helixes we play, once we get the Randy Bueller sound button, the more times we'll be able to push it. You remember trading your pack fresh Goyf I opened for like $230 of Khan's Path fetch lands. It's awesome. Should draw step path. For what reason would we draw step path? For denial? We can I guess that's fair. We can remand denial, but if they play another blue source, that would be good. It's fine to wait. Well, they went to 6 life for some reason. Yeah, I am kind of, I've been thinking about a Nihiri Sunforger deck, and I kind of want to play a War Leader's Helix in it. Kind of want to play a War Leader's Helix. So we're waiting until our turn so we can remand a Stubborn Denial if they have one. With bolts on the Death Shadow on the stack, a consideration to blank stub. Maybe. I just was gonna do this instead, but that could have been fine. They already played their land, so they can only stub once. Usually once I see a line that like almost 100% or 100% wins the game, I just kind of stop thinking. My opponent is thinking about something. Maybe bolt themselves to go out in style. Maybe they had, you know, they had typed their angry message and they had their finger on the trigger and decided to erase a bit. We're going to play a couple gusts. Pretty low on Remand of this matchup. Play like like 3 gust. I also don't hate Lantern. Lantern's kind of good against Traverse. It's not great. Dispute seems okay. They're like pretty low on stubs, but countering stub is kind of nice for sure. It's like, I like it against Grixis, but against 4 color, I'm way lower on it. Well, you would think that you couldn't Fam Slayer, that you couldn't concede the game after you've lost, but if you look at 104.3a, it actually says you can concede the game at any time, and there is still time, you know, assuming there hasn't been some kind of great cosmic event, there should still be time after you concede, or after you lose the game for you to concede. Let's play 1 Remand and 1 Lantern. I don't think I ever want to draw 2 Lanterns. Well, we drew a Lantern. I think we keep this. Yeah, you can concede. The rule says you can concede the game at any time, which doesn't make a ton of sense. But again, assuming there isn't some Mandela effect or crazy cosmic event, you should just always be good to concede. Every morning I wake up and see if Nelson Mandela has changed Sunforger to be able to let me get sorceries and instants. Every morning, that's the first thing I do to see if the universes have shifted, and Nelson Mandela has let me cast sorceries with Sunforger. Hasn't happened yet, but I bet it will one day. Hey Spike, I think we played Moto a couple weeks back. I like to concede. All right, let me check. Time space continuum still chugging along just great. Should be fine to do that. Take Remand here. It's a good draw. I'm gonna get their sorcery here with the Soul Guide Lantern. Sometimes I call my opponents at FNM 4 years ago at 2 a.m. to concede, and according to the rules, you can do that. You do have to leave the game immediately, though, by the way. It does say, if you've ever conceded the game and you haven't immediately got up and left, you are breaking the rules. A player who concedes the game leaves the game immediately. So I've broken the rules unintentionally a few times. But just so you guys know, don't make that mistake. If you concede the game, you must leave the game immediately. What sorcery do I want to cast with Sunforger? Pillage, Cleansing Wildfire, mostly Pillage. I want to Nahiri Sunforger every single turn, just plus and like automatically attach, and then 2 mana Pillage over and over again. I really want to do it, but this current universe believes that Sunforger can't cast sorceries, sadly. Is it cheating if you claim that you're from a different timeline where the card used to say this? I feel like that must have been what happened with Uro and Oko, right? We are from a universe where Magic cards, 3 mana Planeswalkers don't plus to get 6 loyalty and have, a +1 like Oko does. Or, we're from a universe where surely Uro does only 2 things on ETB, not 3 things. But that's just the Mandela effect getting to you. Archmage Charms Revile. Oh, awesome, Blake. I forgot about that. I think that's still my pinned tweet on Twitter. Yeah. Yeah, you can concede that game now. I forgot that it was you, Blake. Why not just imprint Wildfire and Isochron Scepter? I feel like it's just kind of cute with Nahiri, but that also sounds fun. They missed their land drop, so I like gusting this. I'm also fine trading Gust for Stub here, when I can untap and play Jace. And it seems like they realize they can't not have Stub up for Jace, so we'll play around that. I don't know. I really feel like Nelson Mandela personally ruined Magic the Gathering with his dang Mandela effect. What are you going to do? Is Kolaghan's Commander holding up? Did it like shock me and make me discard a card? What is this chat? Honestly, I've been listening to music all week this week while I've been streaming, and I feel like way more relaxed, and I've been able to stream for longer than I usually do. And my general vibe is better too. In case anybody was thinking about performing a standard vibe check. I think I like plussing here. It's kind of close. I'm going to bottom that. I'm having a good time. This is now, jokes are now officially allowed on this stream. So mods who have banned people for making jokes, you can unban them. Yeah, the Walking Dead thing also I blame on Nelson Mandela. I don't know why people keep tweeting Wizards is making mistakes. Wizards is making a mistake, but it's Nelson Mandela messing with the timelines. It has been the whole time. I'm sure many people in the chat have no idea what the Mandela effect is. Just think I've totally lost my marbles, which maybe I have. But so the Mandela effect is named after, or is the idea that universe, there are multiple realities, and the realities kind of slide into it, and you can have memories from the old reality. And like the most common, or maybe the first one that spawned the theory, is a lot of people seem to have this memory of Nelson Mandela dying in prison, which didn't happen. But really, I think what the Nelson Mandela effect actually is that humans are very susceptible to making false memories, especially in groups. So like a really interesting phenomena. I think that is really what the Mandela effect is. But it's funny to personally blame Nelson Mandela for, fucking with the timeline. Yeah, the Bearstein Bears spelling is also like a really common one people talk about. They think it's I can't remember the spelling people think it was. Yeah, Shazam and Sinbad. I don't really know all the juicy details of that one, I guess. So I'm going to play this before doing anything, I think. Then I'll just bounce the shadow. We didn't have triple red to go for the burn kill, but we can do that kind of at our leisure. Cool. Opponent exercising their 104.3A rights. So that's 2 4-1s in a row. Deck is definitely churning along. Ooh, Full Art Brainstorm. So I feel like this was worth something for a bit. Days Undoing. Spoils of the Vaults. Courser. This card is so much worse than Allosaurus Shepherd, and it's funny.